I. So this question is from 1999, and I would always find it funny. This is a question from 1999. Jam says, when two end alkyl group of ethyl ethanoate are interchanged, the compound formed is known as. So I always do not consider this as a chemistry question. It's just, I see it as verbal reasoning. So the compound is ethyl ethanoate. So the first thing Jam is testing you on is, can you write ethyl ethanoate? That's the first thing Jam is testing you on. Can you write out the structure of ethyl ethanoate? So let's do that right here. So we'll start with this midpoint here, because see, this is the parent. I've explained in one of my videos. This is the parent, and this right here is the substituent, or the branch, the way you call it. So when we want to draw a compound, we start with the parent. So you start with the amount of carbon, and the carbon there is 8. So 8 means 2 carbons. Then the N here, you see here, is shortened from N, which means single bond. So we put a single bond. So what is ending it here is OH. The OH is the Alkanoate homologous series, and they have a functional group, mean COO. Their functional groups, they should be like this, right? COO. So it means we have to attach, we already have a C here, so we have to attach O and O, right? So we have written ethanoate. So we need to attach ethyl, this ethyl here. So the ethyl here is always attached to the back here, because you know what is there should be an H, which makes it an acid. But then the H has been exchanged. That's why we call it a substituent. The hydrogen has been substituted for ethyl. Right now we know ethyl should be C2H5, because ethyl is an alkyl group. It is gotten from removing one hydrogen from ethane. Ethane is C2H6. So when you remove one hydrogen, you are left with C2H5. Now, what we do is to check this carbon here has 1, 2, 3, 4 already. But this carbon here has just one bond. To make it tetravalent, it bonds with hydrogen. 3 hydrogen. So this is ethyl ethanoate. Now what Jam is asking is, when the two end alkyl groups, so if you look at the end, this is an end, right? And this is another end. So I say when the two end alkyl groups are interchanged, that means this one comes to this position, and this one right here comes to this position. They're asking you what compound will be formed. So let's do that in a minute. So we'll put the functional group back where it is, because that one is not moving. So we take this CH3, this is CH3. I love writing as H3C, it's CH3. So we'll move it to this position where the C2H5 had been. So it becomes CH3. Then we'll move this C2H5 to the position of the CH3. So it becomes C2H5. Now Jam asks us to name the compound that was formed. So in naming, remember this right here is the substituent, and this whole lot here is the parent. It is the parent because it is carrying the COO, which is the functional word group. So the parent always carry the functional group. So when we want to name that, we start with the substituent here. The substituent is methyl. You see CH3. So that is methyl. Then we will count the number of carbon atoms in the parent. This is 2, and this is an extra 1. So the total number of carbon in the parent is 3. So that is prop. And we know it as single bond. So that is an. Then it is carrying the COO, which is the OH. So methyl propanoate, which is option C. Is that not funny? So I do not consider this as a chemistry question, if you ask me.